my name is Teach, and this will be part 5 of Understanding the World of Ice and Fire, and this will be all about Beyond the Sunset Kingdom in the Dawn Age. If you haven't seen part 1 through 4, they will be linked up top now. In the last few episodes, I proposed a theory to you that Nissa was a Mother Earth goddess who was violated by the First Men. During this violation, she screams out and she breaks the fiery moon, and black stone rains all across the world. Eventually, she gives birth to her son, Asshai, and together they are able to put an end to this first long night. Asshai then travels the 7 kingdoms and is known by many different names. In the Reach, we knew him as Garth Greenhand. In Old Town, we learned about seafarers that possibly came to the 7 kingdoms, and I theorized that they would have sailed east to Westeros from somewhere near Asshai, fleeing the giant meteor that landed near there. Once in Westeros, they tell Garth Greenhand about the giant stone that fell near Asshai, at which point he decides to leave Westeros to go investigate. Now, if you're here in Old Town and you wanted to go over here by Asshai by the Shadow, I think the easiest way would be to take a boat, and you should sail down through the Summer Sea and stop the Summer Isles and Basilisk Isles and Sothoryos to resupply along your way. So now let's start down in the Summer Isles.
The Summer Isles, south of Westeros, cradled in the deep blue waters of the Summer Sea. The Summer Isles bask in the warm southern sun. Flowers of 1,000 different sorts bloom in profusion on the Summer Isles, filling the air with their perfume. The trees are heavy with exotic fruits.
Wasn't Garth Greenhand said to walk around with a canvas sack full of seeds for flowers and fruit trees?
The Summer Islanders are a dark people, black of hair and eye, with skins as brown as teak or as black as polished jet. For much of their recorded history, they lived in isolation from the rest of mankind. Their earliest maps, as carved into the famous Talking Trees of Tall Trees Town, show no lands but the Isles themselves, surrounded by a vast world-spanning ocean.
Wait a second, these guys have talking trees? Do you think the trees whisper to them? Ultimately, most of this information deals with the rise of Valyria, so we'll come back to it. But there are a few interesting things that we should check out while we're here.
Lomas Longstrider, who visited the Summer Isles in his search for wonders, recorded that the sages of the Isles claimed that their ancestors once reached the western shores of Sothoryos and founded cities there, only to have them overwhelmed and destroyed by the same forces that wiped out later Giscari and Valyrian settlements on that perilous continent.
I'm not totally sure why they're trying to throw us off here, because there is an ancient city called Yeen on Sothoryos.
The Summer Islanders have never once invaded any lands beyond their own shores, nor attempted the conquest of any foreign people.
The Summer Islanders are a very peaceful people.
Their great swan ships sail farther and faster than the vessels of any other nation, to the very ends of the earth.
Almost like they've been sailing their entire lives.
Wars on the Summer Isles seldom last longer than a day, and do no harm to any but the warriors themselves. No crops are destroyed, no homes are put to the torch, no cities are sacked, no children are harmed, no women are raped, though warrior women are fight beside their men in the line of battle.
These people seem quite the opposite of the people of the 7 kingdoms, especially the Lannisters and the Ironborn, almost as whoever founded these people were taught better.
The other Summer Isles, whilst Jala, Wulano, and Omboru dominate the archipelago, a number of the smaller isles are worthy of mention.
We'll come back to the history of the main islands later, but for now, let's look at some of these smaller ones.
The Singing Stones, west of the main isles, have jagged peaks so riddled with holes and airways that they make a strange music when the wind blows. The people of the stones can tell which way the wind is blowing from the sound of their song. Whether gods or men taught the stones to sing, no one can say.
Sounds like some magical hands were involved to me.
Stone Head, the northernmost island in the chain, is plainly the work of men. The north face of this sea-girt rock has been carved in the stern likeness of some forgotten god, glowering out across the sea. His is the last visage that Summer Islanders see as they sail north to Westeros.
Come on now, this forgotten god is glowering out at the sea, going towards Westeros?
Though a score of gods, both great and small, are honored on the Summer Isles, a special reverence is shown to the god and goddess of love, beauty, and fertility.
Well now, this sounds like Garth Greenhand. But who's this goddess? Is this Nissa? Or does Asshai possibly have siblings? Could he be green, his brother black, and his sister white? Maybe these are the 3 heads of the dragon. I'm not too sure about that yet. Let's keep going for now.
Naath. Northwest of Sothoryos in the Summer Sea lies the mysterious island of Naath, known to the ancients as the Isle of Butterflies. The god of Naath is called the Lord of Harmony, oft shown as a laughing giant, bearded and naked, always attended by swarms of slender maidens with butterfly wings.
Check out this picture of Garth in the 7 kingdoms. Kinda looks like a similar description, doesn't it?
100 varieties of butterflies flitter about the island. The Naathi revere them as messengers of the Lord, charged with the protection of his people. Mayhaps there is some truth to these legends, for whilst the docile nature of the Naathi seem to make their island ripe for conquest, strangers from beyond the sea do not live long upon the Isle of Butterflies.
And then we get a Mayhaps here. And this Mayhaps is saying that they're not messengers of the Lord charged with protection of his people. This is letting us know that he made 100 butterflies for his 100 queens from the 100 kingdoms of yore. Okay, so it looks like there could be some evidence of Garth visiting the Summer Isles and Naath. Let's see if we can see him in the Basilisk Isles and Sothoryos as well.
Ruins found upon the Isle of Tears, the Isle of Toads, and Axe Island hint at some ancient civilization, but little is now known of these vanished men of the Dawn Age. If any still survived when the first corsairs settled on the islands, they were soon put to the sword, so no trace of them now remains, save perhaps upon the Isle of Toads.
Okay, let's go check out the Isle of Toads then.
On the Isle of Toads can be found an ancient idol, a greasy black stone crudely carved in the semblance of a gigantic toad of malignant aspect, some 40 feet high. The people of this isle are believed by some to be descended from those who carved the toadstone, for there is an unpleasant fish-like aspect to their faces, and many have webbed hands and feet.
A black, greasy stone carved to look like a toad and some strange fish-looking people. Would you believe me that there are other fish-looking people in the world? Okay, there wasn't a whole lot to go on there in the Basilisk Isles, but on the Isle of Toads, there is a black, greasy stone. Now let's check on Sothoryos.
Sothoryos. Men have known of the existence of the vast savage land to the south, since the first of them took to the sea in ships. For only the width of the summer sea separates Sothoryos from the ancient civilizations and great cities of Essos and Westeros. Yet we cannot claim to know Sothoryos well. Its interior remains a mystery to us, covered by impenetrable jungle, where ancient cities full of ghosts lie in ruins beside great, sluggish rivers. Colonies planted here wither and die. We do not even know the true size of Sothoryos. Whatever its true extent, the southern continent is an unhealthy place. Blood boils, green fever, sweet rot, bronze pate, the red death, grey scale, brown leg, worm bone, sailor's bane, pus eye, and yellow gum are only a few of the diseases found there.
This place sounds pretty awesome. People should totally come visit here on their next vacation.
Counts suggest that 9 of every 10 men visiting Sothoryos from Westeros will suffer one or more of these afflictions, and that almost half will die. Nor is disease the only danger that those who seek to know this wet green land must face.
Wait, you mean it actually gets worse?
Huge crocodiles lurk beneath the surface of the Zamoyas. Other streams are infested by swarms of carnivorous fish capable of stripping the flesh from a man's bones in minutes. There are stinging flies, venomous snakes, wasps and worms that lay their eggs beneath the skins of horses, hogs, and men alike. In the forest south of Yeen, there are said to be apes that dwarf the largest giants, so powerful they can slay elephants with a single blow. Farther south lie the regions known as the Green Hell, where beasts even more fearsome are said to dwell. Caverns full of pale white vampire bats. Tattooed lizards stalk the jungles. Snakes 50 feet long slither through the underbrush, and spotted spiders weave their webs amongst the great trees.
Okay, maybe don't schedule your next vacation here.
Most terrible of all are the wyverns, those tyrants of the southern skies, with their great leathery wings, cruel beaks, and insatiable hunger. Close kin to dragons, wyverns cannot breathe fire, but they exceed their cousins in ferocity, and are a match for them in all other respects save size. Brindled wyverns, with their distinctive jade and white scales, swamp wyverns have been known to attain an even greater size. Brown bellies, no larger than monkeys, are even more dangerous than their larger kin. But most dreaded of all is the shadow wing, a nocturnal monster whose black scales and wings make him all but invisible.
Do you think the brindled wyverns are Garth's attempt to breed with his dragon from Old Town?
Maesters and other scholars alike have puzzled over the greatest of the enigmas of Sothoryos, the ancient city of Yeen, a ruin older than time, built of oily black stone.
This must be one of the cities that the ancient Summer Islanders were talking about. It's made out of greasy black stone. So I think I'm gonna have to credit this to our demigod.
It would require a dozen elephants to move them. Yeen has remained a desolation for many thousands of years, yet the jungle that surrounds it on every side has scarce touched it. A city so evil that even the jungle will not enter, Nymeria is supposed to have said when she laid eyes on it, if the tales are true. Every attempt to rebuild or resettle Yeen has ended in horror.
This place is a haunted ruin. I would really like to know what happened here that drove Azor Ahai and his people back to the Summer Isles.
The Sothoryi are big-boned creatures, massively muscled, with long arms, sloped foreheads, huge square teeth, heavy jaws, and coarse black hair.
What's going on with this place? It almost seems like someone was interbreeding animals with different species.
Their broad, flat noses suggest snouts, and their thick skins are brindled in patterns of brown and white that seem more hog-like than human. Sothoryi women cannot breed with any save their own males. When mated with men from Essos or Westeros, they bring forth only stillbirths, many hideously malformed.
These people have some interesting characteristics. I wonder if we can match them up anywhere else in the world.
The Sothoryi that dwell closest to the sea have learned to speak the trade talk. Farther south, the trappings of civilization fall away, and the brindle men become even more savage and barbaric. These Sothoryi worship dark gods with obscene rites. Many are cannibals, and more are ghouls. When they cannot feast upon the flesh of foes and strangers, they eat their own dead.
So these brindle men aren't human, but they do seem to be highly intelligent. They worship dark gods and eat people, sometimes eating their own kind. These might be the worst creatures on the planet.
Some say there were other races here, once forgotten peoples, destroyed, devoured, or driven out by the brindled men. Tales of lizard men, lost cities, and eyeless cave dwellers are commonplace. No proof exists for any of these.
So it seems as Garth Greenhand left Old Town, he took a southern passage towards Asshai, landing in the Summer Isles, Naath, and the Basilisk Isles, and he was creating very peaceful civilizations. Once he hit Sothoryos, though, he encountered resistance of some kind, and they were forced to retreat. At this point, he had to come back to Westeros. This might be where he was disappearing to during the winters. But once he returns to Westeros, he's going to try again, and this time he's going to take a land passage. Mostly. He's still got to cross the stepstones. And then the first place we should be able to pick him up in at that point is in Myr. But that's going to have to wait until the next one. If you made it to the end here, please do me a favor, drop a like and subscribe. If you don't know what else to watch, check out one of these videos linked down below. My name is Teach, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.